Once again, I'm your host, Ted King. Trump signs funding bill to end longest U.S. government shutdown. The president signs a bill to restart federal operations after House passes measure in 222 to 209 vote. So yeah, we're back in business. And of course, you get murmurs from both sides saying that we gave too much and we did all this shutdown, and how do we gain leverage? And of course, we know that on November, which is this month, when they had the elections, the Democrats swept victories across the nation. So of course, that was part of the shutdown process, because once again, we're dealing with a lot of people who are middlemen, okay, and playing the game with other people's money. That's what it is, right? We have donors who are contributing for their agenda, and then of course we have the citizens of the United States paying taxes, in a sense, donating taxes to support their agenda, the middlemen's agenda. That's how this thing works, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we need to understand. So, you have from the Democratic side people talking about their colleagues and perhaps trying to get rid of the leader, Schumer, get him to step down because his stance is not hard enough. His position to give in is something that they deem as weak. So, but Schumer, of course, he's been playing to his demographic, and I don't need to talk about what that is. And that demographic is, his demographic is the ones who carry the most dollars. So, to get rid of Schumer, someone would have to be a big advocate to be able to fundraise. Okay, a person who can advocate fundraising in a big way, because basically the demographic of Leader Schumer's, his contributors have big, deep pockets. And so, yeah, it's a money game, of course, and no matter how we play it, that's what it is. Likewise, that's how, until you understand that, we need to understand that's what gets people elected into office, and big dollars, okay? It's big money. All right, so the longest U.S. government shutdown in history ended Wednesday after more than 42 days. Following the House of Representatives passage of a bill negotiated by Republicans and a splinter group of Democrat-aligned senators. Okay, so this is what happened, like I said. Okay, the compromise sets the stage for government operations to return to normal through January, while leaving unresolved the issues of expiring tax credits for Affordable Care Act or Obama health plans, which most Democrats demanded to extend in any deal to reopen the government. And that's what they were talking about, that's what they demanded, but that's not what in fact happened. Although, they have until the beginning of next year to, of course, fight a different battle, same fight, but I should say the same war, but different battle. Yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah, it's the same war, but it's a different battle to tackle this. Now, they needed to open up the government. They needed to do that, right? And so that's what they did. So they're going to just reset and then go back at it, essentially, in January. Okay. After it was revealed over the weekend, the Senate approved the compromise on Monday. And the House followed suit 2 days later by a margin of 222 in favor and 209 against, with 2 not voting. Donald Trump signed the bill on Wednesday night, saying, "We're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion." Because that's what it was. The Democrats tried to extort our country. Now, this is another thing that, remember, in this politics, this is a political arena. We must understand one thing, that, there are untruths on both sides, right? And the untruth that you believe is not a lie, right? Yeah, I mean, it's a lie, basically. An untruth is a lie. But when we don't, they're able to mouthpiece their way into making us believe that the lie is the truth, then that's what it is. And so until we understand this political game, mouthpiece game, okay, that's what it is. The lies that they tell, if we believe them, then of course, once again, it's not a lie. So, that's what we have to, I can't sift through the lies. And there's no bigger liar than our president. Yeah. Okay, so 6 Democrats broke with party to vote for the bill. Adam Gray of California, Tom Suozzi of New York now, excuse me if I'm pronouncing the name wrong, it's spelled Suozzi of New York, Mary Gluesenkamp Perez of Washington, Don Davis of North Carolina, Henry Cuellar of Texas, and Jared Golden of Maine. 2 Republicans, Thomas Macy of Kentucky and Greg Stubble of Florida, voted against it. Okay, so now it goes on to say the Democratic shutdown is finally over thanks to House and Senate Republicans. House Republican leaders said in a statement as follows: "There is absolutely no question now that Democrats are responsible for millions of American families going hungry. Millions of travelers left stranded in airports, and our troops left wondering if they would receive their next paycheck." Now, see, this is the blame game that's going on. That once this happens and it's over with, now which party do we play? Where do we place the game? The blame, excuse me. Where do we place the blame? That's what it is, okay? And it's only obvious, right, that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, the presidency. So, I mean, it's hard for me, that's just me now, to be able to wrap my head around this narrative that was all Democratic. It was the Democrats that did it. When, of course, we know, or at least I know, okay, that there's some things going on, corruption in my mind, right? That I'm thinking, it must be correct. It's got to sound like corruption to me. And, for them to convince me otherwise, I think that I would be buying into an untruth. And so I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. So, keep it real. This is me now. This is me. That, I cannot buy into an untruth. And that's basically, the fact is fact, and the fact is that the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House, the presidency. So, me personally think that that's probably where the blame should go. We think logically about this whole situation, right? And of course, the things that's going on in the White House right now with different countries, various countries, and of course, paying our president quite a bit of money just to meet him, to have a conversation with him. This has been well reported now, and this is not absolute corruption. I don't know what it is. I know that I couldn't do it. I can get away with it, no way, shape, or form. So anyway, it is what it is, right? Okay, so it goes on to say here, because I'm reading this article, right? And I will tell you what the article. Let me go tell you where the article is, who the article is from now, before I even go any further. And this the article is on Chris Stein in Washington. Chris Stein wrote the article, and it's in U.S. politics. Okay. And it's updates, of course. So, of course, you know, I get updated, get the information just like you all do, and I just report what the information is that that filtered down. This is what I'm doing today. Okay, so here we go. Now, this is very interesting here, right? It goes on to say, it says Republicans who control both the House and the Senate counteroffered with a bill to fund the government through the third week of November, without any spending cuts or major changes to policy. They passed the measure through the lower chamber with only a single Democrat in support. But the minority used the Senate's filibuster to block its passage there. Okay, so there was a filibuster situation that went on. The shutdown began in 1st of October, resulting in about 700,000 federal workers being furloughed, hundreds of thousands of others, from active duty military to law enforcement to airport security screeners, remaining on the job without pay. Russell Vogt, big name now. Russell Vogt, this is a big name, right? That's Russell Vogt, V-O-U-G-H-T. That's Russell Vogt, okay? The White House Office of Management and Budget Director, known for his hostility towards the federal workforce, right? Because they fired a lot of people, right? Seized on the funding lapse to order further layoffs of government employees. He also cut funding for infrastructure projects in states that voted for Kamala Harris last year. Okay, so though Trump ordered military members be paid in a move that many experts call probably illegal, other federal workers missed paychecks. Food banks began reporting increased demands as the shutdown went on, with the need worsening after the White House halted payments under the Supplementary Nutrition Assistance Program, or food stamps, citing the government funding lapse. Now, this funds for the food stamps was there. You know, they reported the money's there for food stamps, but someone said, we're not going to distribute the money for food stamps, for SNAP benefits. Now, if the Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the presidency, who is behind that? Okay, so anyway, let's move on. Last week, Sean Duffy, the Transportation Secretary, ordered a cutback in flights at U.S. airports, saying air traffic controllers were facing unprecedented strains after weeks of unpaid work. Widespread flight cancellations were reported in the days that followed. Now, we know this is November, okay? And we're treading into the holiday season where people do a lot of traveling. And it's very important that these air traffic controllers are in place to make sure people are safe in the airways. Yeah, you know, these airways are very important. They need to, you know, they have to have these air traffic controllers in place. So that was a pressure, you know, that was pressure right there on on both parties, but primarily Republican Party, to make this thing happen, to make it go, because time was not on their side. And of course, the American people has spoken regarding, especially when you say, you know, there was someone said on day one, prices in this country was going to be going down as soon as they became the president of the United States. One of those people who was running for the office of the president of the United States made that statement, that on day one, prices for the American people would go down. Yeah. So, anyway, Democratic leaders said the wins vindicated their strategy in the funding fight. A statement Trump echoed saying, and this is a quote, "The shutdown is a big factor," unquote. In the GOP's poor performance, he began pressing Republican senators to scrap the filibuster, which would have negated the 60-vote threshold spending legislation needs to clear in the chamber where the GOP holds 53 seats, which is without, anyway, he tried to, to get that filibuster out of the way so they could do what they wanted to do. That didn't happen, okay? Meanwhile, a small group of modern members of the Senate Democratic caucus had been negotiating a compromise to end the shutdown. It ended up funding the government through January and undoing the layoffs the Trump administration had ordered after the shutdown began. Now, this was a Trump administration order, okay, regarding layoffs. So, we can't, these things, like I said, we can't put these things, it has to follow the feet of the people in control. That's the bottom line. And that's the bottom line. So, until we get to next January to get a little bit more clarity as to where this thing is going, we just have to, keep our seatbelts buckled. And here's the reason why. Because Adelita Grijalva was just sworn in yesterday. And so she represents the vote, the one vote that can open up those Epstein files. Now, last time I checked, this whole government shutdown, in my opinion, just my opinion now, what do I know? I don't know that much, you know what I mean? I don't know that much. But I do know that there was a shutdown. And it appeared to me, it's just to me, that there was a big reason behind that. And now that the government is reopened and Adelita Grijalva is now been sworn in, and she's the deciding vote to open up those files, somebody is shaking in their boots right about now. And so this whole thing is about to unfold in real time. And of course, this is Thursday. What's today? Today's the 13th of November. And I will be reporting later on today about this situation. I did a little report on it yesterday as well. Primarily that's what I talked about yesterday. And you can see the streams on YouTube, Mighty King Media TV, Mouthpiece Sports, add my name. Of course, Facebook as well, TikTok, Instagram, etc. And, and if you get an opportunity, don't forget to like and subscribe, of course. Please, follow the channel. Is there anything called all hell about to break loose? Have you ever heard about that? All hell about to break loose? Man, I think it's about to happen. And so, yeah. So anyway, that's what I got today. Listen, we'll be back later on. Keep looking because we got more content.
Since we're here in Washington, D.C., just a few blocks from the people whose salaries we pay, let's make damn sure they hear us when we demand that they do their jobs. Protect this country. Protect the people you swore to serve. Protect our democracy. And listen closely, because tens of thousands of voices are about to make it very simple for you. Impeach, convict, and remove. Let me hear it. Impeach, convict, remove. I want Congress to hear it in their goddamn offices. Impeach, convict, remove. I want the White House to hear it. Impeach, convict, remove. I didn't spend my career in law enforcement to watch a government use fear and violence as a weapon. And I didn't risk my life for democracy on January 6th so lawmakers could shrug and say, maybe we'll get to it in 2026. I stood up like you were all standing up here because this country is worth fighting for. And every single one of you showed up today because you believe the same thing. This movement is not small. This is not some fringe fad, and it sure as hell isn't quiet. It's the majority of Americans who are tired of being ignored, and we're tired of this administration. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to take this crowd and this momentum, and we're going to turn it into pressure louder than anything this country has ever seen. We're going to call our lawmakers. We're going to show up at their office, and we're going to demand action, and we're going to demand their courage, and we're going to demand accountability.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the most dangerous combat sport in the world, American politics. Now we have a update. Not quite breaking news, but close. And it's been reported here from BBC, written by Anthony Zocher, titled How Green Went from MAGA Loyalist to Quitting Congress. Obviously, MAGA Queen Marjorie Taylor Greene has did an about face. So let's listen to what she has to say.
I don't know what happened to Marjorie. She's a nice woman, but I don't know what happened. She's lost her way, I think. But I have to view the presidency as a worldwide situation, not locally.
Well, first of all, I haven't lost my way. I'm for the American people only. I'm America first, and I make no apologies about that.
With that, I'll yield back to the distinguished gentleman from Florida.
Time's expired. Does any other member seek recognition?
Mr.
Chair
Chairman,
recognizes Ms. Green.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman. That's right. He's advising. Okay.
He's advising who? What? Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG.
I don't think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I think your fake eyelashes are messing up.
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman,
That's beneath
would
even
you
your
please
history and
regain
beneath
order
even
of your
you.
committee?
Order.
Please.
There's a point of order.
We have a point of order. Mr. Lynch, state your point.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to ask the parliamentarian if your conduct here in raising money in connection with this hearing is referable to the Ethics Committee within this hearing. Is a motion in order to refer your conduct and your abuse of
It's not a
process.
point of order. not a
Mr.
point
I
of
do
order.
have a point of order, and I would like to move to take down Ms. Green's words. That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you
meeting
attack
will
the
suspend.
physical
Meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings hurt?
her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play. with
Baby
me.
girl?
We're gonna,
I don't
We
think
are going to
so.
move, and we're going to take your words down.
I
Thank you very
second that motion.
So who will have to pay us? Okay. All right. We're suspending.
Appeal the ruling of the chair, Mr. Chairman, because the rules provide that you cannot insult another member's personal appearance or attire. And that is obviously part of engaging in personalities.
Mr. Chairman, on this vote, the ayes are 21, the nays are 19, with 1 voting present.
All right. Motion table. Now the chair recognizes Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, point of order.
Who's
It's me.
Ms. Crockett?
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personality.
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those words.
I don't think that's a
Hold on.
part
I'm
of it.
trying to find clarification on what quality.
Chairman,
I didn't-
motion to
I
strike
had no
those
idea what
words.
you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just said
You
no.
just voted to do
Y'all did
it.
it first, so you don't
just
talk
voted
about
to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look it, calm down. Calm down.
No, because this
I
is
will
what
let
y'all
you get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Ms.
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
Y'all wanna
recognized.
play
Ms.
games?
Crockett.
I can't hear you with your
And
yelling.
You don't want
calm
me to
down.
Be,
Can
no,
you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if
Look, Chairman,
if I
can
come
we
and
stand
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Mr.
Order.
Chairman.
All right,
Sorry.
chair.
I don't know why
Okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes
Not cute.
Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes. Let Ms. Green talk, and then I'll recognize.
But
the one
I
on
move
this
to
side.
strike her words for a second time based on her second set of personal remarks attacking another member.
Who?
Chairman Comer.
Because you all cannot
I have an
seem
amendment at
to
the desk,
apply
and this
the
sideshow
rules of the
needs to
committee.
stop.
We have to do this every time.
Hey, I'm
Before it's
recognized.
done.
I'm recognized. I'm going to
Listen,
go ahead and start talking.
Look, I know. Look, I don't know if you've noticed it. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf. I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can. Can we not recognize Ms. Green and let
We
her get?
cannot because of the rules of the committee, Mr. Chair. That is what I'm trying to communicate in the present moment.
We have a Okay, what's the motion? What's
The motion is to strike the gentlelady's words for the second set of remarks, not the first, the second.
She
that
has
apply
no
to
idea.
me.
She has no idea. I think, Mr. Chairman, I'm the
know what
only
the
one
words
recognized
were?
right now.
But we objected at the time.
Will the member state the word she wishes
Yes.
struck?
She told me, or she asserted that I was not intelligent. These are the specific words. We can have it read by the clerk.
It was made immediately.
And it was made immediately. I am not moving now.
I don't think it was
I am not
timely.
moving
It was
now.
made immediately, both by the gentlelady and by me.
Mr.
Guys,
Chair,
look.
it was made immediately.
It was made
and
immediately,
you said
both by
that
the
you would
gentlelady and by
return
me.
to us.
Guys,
She said, you don't have the intelligence to talk to me, is what she said.
the chair recognizes Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, what is
I
happening with
object,
the ruling?
I object to the ruling now.
We must object.
I mean, if you want to take it up,
Just move on.
yeah.
Move on.
We should just adjourn.
Yeah.
Because
I was.
hearsay.
Yeah.
It's just to take the
No, I'm gonna rule to strike the word. Okay. All right. We got it. All right. Okay. All right. Back in order. The committee will come back to order. The chair rules to strike the words that Ms. Green said, where she said that Ms. Ocasio-Cortez was not.
Said
What
she
you
lacked
said.
the intelligence to
Okay.
speak to her when, in
Okay.
fact,
I
Ms.
didn't want to say it
Ocasio-Cortez is
because I
a
didn't
brilliant
want you all
member.
to get anything on me.
No, we should be on the record with what was happening.
Okay, we struck the words that she said, you're not intelligent. That Are we good on that?
No.
The words
we
have
need-
been struck.
No, it was,
no.
it was to
Whoa.
take the words
Now
down.
the chair-
Yeah, we're
Mr.
good.
Chairman,
Goldman, you're out of order. Listen.
Mr. Chairman, her motion was to take her words down, not to strike the words.
It was to strike the words. That's what Ms. Ocasio-Cortez asked.
Well,
Okay, now-
which is to take them down.
There's no such
Which is to
thing.
take them down.
Which is to take them down.
Which is to take them down.
it's-
They've been taken down.
All right, then
They've
that
been
means
taken
that
down.
Ms.
All right.
Green has to leave
Now,
the committee.
Ms.
She
Goldman,
cannot
Mr.
speak
Goldman,
any-
you're out of order. Now, I want everyone to let's comply with decorum. The chair recognizes
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Green from, no,
Wait,
no,
her words
no,
were taken
no.
down.
No, her
Yes,
words were
we-
taken down. That means she cannot speak.
The chair
If
recognizes.
her words are stricken, she cannot speak in this hearing. Talk to your parliamentarian. She has to get out.
Without a motion under unanimous consent, the gentlelady is not permitted to speak for the
Chairman.
rest of this session. And we're happy to revive our motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. I think these 17-hour days might not work for us.
Something about working, huh?
Yeah, maybe showing up for a vote.
You have a lot to say, being that you're on retainer for the judge's daughter. Sorry, trust fund kid.
Mr. Chairman.
We should strike those words too.
I hope you brought your popcorn.
Mr. Chair,
Strike
we have to
those
strike
after
those as
we
well.
strike
And
the
Mr.
fact that they
Chairman-
called they were making comments about Marjorie's body. So we can
Mr.
do this
Chairman.
all night long, but I have a motion
Mr. Chairman,
at
this
the
is out of
desk I'd like to
control.
get.
We should adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion at the desk.
Mr. Chairman,
I think my body's pretty good. I'm going to be 50
point of order.
this month. I am. I turned 50.
Mr. Chairman.
Pretty good.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
we have some members in the room who are drinking inside the hearing room who are not members of this hearing.
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, we have members who are not on this committee sitting in the hearing
We have
room
members
drinking.
talking who haven't been recognized. Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry. Mr. Chairman, point of...
Democrats are against
Mr.
drinking.
Chairman, point of inquiry.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
Water.
We're going to
There you go.
suspend. We're going to suspend for 5 minutes while our staffs work the parliamentary questions out. So this committee has
Mr.
suspended
Chairman.
for 5 minutes. It'd be a good time for everyone to go out and take
Can
a
we
break.
apologize to the
Get some
American
fresh
people
air.
back home
5
first?
minutes.
That would be really
Committee
great.
will
if they
reconvene in
just
5
heard how
minutes.
sorry we are that we're not.
It's me.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
Now we have a update. Not quite breaking news, but close. And it's been reported here from BBC, written by Anthony Zocher, titled How Green Went from MAGA Loyalist to Quitting Congress. Obviously, MAGA Queen Marjorie Taylor Greene has did an about face. So let's listen to what she has to say.
I don't know what happened to Marjorie. She's a nice woman, but I don't know what happened. She's lost her way, I think. But I have to view the presidency as a worldwide situation, not locally.
Well, first of all, I haven't lost my way. I'm for the American people only. I'm America first, and I make no apologies about that to anyone.
Someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene would say you're spending too much time overseas.
So, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not anywhere. I mean, she is a very different thinking than I have. Something happened to her over the last period of a month or two where she changed, I think, politically. I think that her constituents aren't going to be happy.
I was called a traitor by a man that I fought for 6 years for. And I gave him my loyalty for free, and he called me a traitor for standing with these women and refusing to take my name off the discharge petition. Let me tell you what a traitor is. A traitor is an American that serves foreign countries and themselves. A patriot is an American that serves the United States of America and Americans like the women standing behind me.
All right. So obviously, Marjorie just now took a jab at our president for kowtowing with the foreign people that he has been rubbing elbows with here lately. The latest being Saudi Arabia, of course, and others. And yeah, so let's read a little bit of this. It says, Marjorie Taylor Greene came into Congress as one of Donald Trump's staunchest defenders. Sworn in office just days before 6 January 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol, Greene supported the president and echoed his contention that the 2020 presidential election was, quote, stolen, unquote, when many in the Republican Party disavowed him. Now, 5 years later, Greene will leave Congress having been branded a, quote, traitor, unquote, by the man she once revered. Over the course of just a handful of months, Greene broke with Trump in the most dramatic fashion. Although Greene had criticized Trump's decision to launch airstrikes on Iran, his support for Israel during the Gaza war, and a lack of sufficient regulations of big technology companies earlier this year, the final fracture began over Jeff Epstein's, the late financier and convicted pedophile who had connections to the wealthy and powerful. She condemned Trump's unwillingness to order his Justice Department to fully release its files on the case, and appeared alongside Epstein's victims and Democrats to force a House vote on the matter. It didn't end there, however. Greene would also question Republican strategy during the recent government shutdown, siding with Democrats and calling on her party to address expiring health care subsidies for low-income Americans. She publicly berated Trump for what she said was an undue emphasis on foreign policy at the expense of addressing economic and affordability concerns. Quote, the American people aren't motivated by foreign wars or bailouts for other countries, unquote. She wrote on X earlier this month, quote, they want leaders who show up, do the job, and fight for them every single day, unquote. So yeah, there was the beginning of this whole situation. When we go back and chronologize these things, the bump in the road, obviously, in my mind, was with this Charlie Kirk situation, where we seen Marjorie Taylor Greene start her pivot. In fact, after that, she was interviewed and said she was at a loss for words. Okay, so let's read on. Greene continued to insist that she supported Trump, but it became increasingly clear that she has a view of the, quote, American First, unquote, movement that differs from the U.S. president's. An activist turned congresswoman who made her name rallying against the political establishment had now found that the MAGA, quote, Make America Great Again, unquote, movement she supported had become the establishment. And as the weight of Trump's power focused on her ousting, she broke for the exits with a few parting shots. Quote, I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better, unquote. She said in her resignation statement. And we're going to be hearing that statement in just a few minutes. Quote, if I am cast aside by MAGA Incorporated and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donors class that can't even relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well, unquote. So now let's listen to what Marjorie has to say.
I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. Loyalty should be a two-way street, and we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first, with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the President and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never, ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026, and I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
All right. So obviously, the MAGA agenda is beginning to erode. It's beginning to decapitate from the top on down. And that's my opinion. I don't believe that Donald Trump will survive the rest of his presidency with this erosion of his movement. There's definitely been a pushback, and pushback in the worst way. And this arguably is the tip of the iceberg. Not to say that Marjorie Taylor Greene is some political powerhouse. She does have her influences, however. And her influence as a leader can never be questioned in terms of her frontline stances. You know, she is a frontline individual. You know, she is not a type of individual that sits back in the background. No, she comes to the forefront. And in my mind, that's what movements are all about. Those that are going to the front line and make their stances known. It would not be surprising to me, as I reported, I believe yesterday, that these Republicans will begin to pivot. And when they begin to pivot, don't be surprised if they pivot as Democrats. Excuse me, choking on my own words. But yeah, don't be surprised if they pivot as Democrats. this has happened in political theater before, dating back to 1964, when the Civil Rights Bill was signed into law by Lyndon Baines Johnson. A lot of those Democrats began to pivot to where they are right now as Republicans. So that's part of the political theater that those who are watching 25 and under should pay attention to. Okay? Yeah, for real. And so, yeah, we have obviously this is a situation where there is going to be a lot of traction for the beginning of the end, not necessarily of MAGA, the agenda of supremacy, that might be still going on for decades to come. But as I reported the other day regarding Arrow Musk statements, that the white minority, will begin in the next couple of decades. But the white minority had nothing to worry about. And this is what people need to understand, that no one in America regarding race should have anything to worry about. And when that does happen, when, these things have began to balance itself out, then we may be all viewed as truly the American melting pot in which this country professed to be. So and so this is another thing that as we evolve into moving forward, that the country needs to understand, when they start looking at biblical principles, that God is in control. And that's what's going to happen here as well. So it is what it is. Daniel 2:44. Remember that. Daniel 2:44. And so that's what is now manifested, in my opinion. But now listen, don't forget to like, if you like this comment, the content, subscribe if you like if you think this is good content, if you like to appreciate the content. I appreciate you listening to the dialogue and the channel. Appreciate your support just by watching. And of course, if you decide to give us a subscribe, like, or follow, appreciate that as well. This content is going to continue on because our country needs voices, all of our voices. We don't need to be sitting back thinking that things are going to go fixed by themselves, because there is powers that be that will come back and test us once again. But no, when the fight's not over with, and again, this is just the tip of the iceberg, but once this starts happening, advocates of this magnitude, of the Marjorie Taylor Greene magnitudes, have decided that, we're pivoting, we're going back the other way. It's huge. It's big, ladies and gentlemen. It's nothing that wasn't going to happen, because once again, as I know, there's a controlling factor that's beyond any man that lives and walks and breathes on this earth, on this planet. And so when that happens, when people understand that's what's happening, then we understand that, we need to let this cuckoo crazy stuff go. And that's what I got for today. Once again, I'm Ted King. Thanks for watching. And to the next one, peace and love.